The stars of our video today are the Hoka Challenger ATR 6s, the Hoka Stinson 6, the Saucony Excursions, and the Ultra Lone Peak 6s. Let's welcome them. Hey everybody, welcome. Today we are going to talk about shoes, and specifically we're going to be talking about trail runners. So first I want to make a disclaimer that I am not a podiatrist. I am not any type of medical personnel. I don't have a degree. All I am doing is bringing you some information that I found by researching the differences in shoes based on the fact that I suffered from a pretty bad case of plantar fasciitis during my AT through hike attempt. I will be going back on trail with a plethora of ammunition to prevent it from flaring up again. But in the interim, I wanted to share with you what I found and what I have learned about shoes. So I'm just making that disclaimer. Please do your own research. Check with your own doctor or your own podiatrist, but before making a decision on the types of shoes that are right for your feet. But I will tell you, one of the things that is very important is to listen to your body whenever you're doing anything, and making adjustments, sooner rather than later. It's funny because when I married my husband, I told him, like, I'm not a shoe and purse girl, and now I have lots of shoes. They're just hiking shoes and so forth. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about shoes. I know I've been promising this video, and I wanted to work really hard to make sure that I got it out before I am on trail, and not as easily able to make a video that requires a certain amount of data in order to be factual. So today we're going to talk about trail running shoes specifically. So shoes that are regular runners on the road and sneakers and stuff may not apply to what I'm talking about. We're going to be talking specifically about trail runners that you're going to use whether you're hiking in them or whether you're running on trails in the mountains, in the woods, whatever. There are runners that do run through those as well. And that's why they're trail runners. And they're basically trail runners because they have a good grip on the bottom. They have a good lug that will help you keep your traction and not have you fall. So there's three things that I want to start to talk about first. And I've got 4 different sets of shoes. If you saw in the video, I've got 2 pairs of Hokas. I've got both of these I have worn on trails. And I've got 1 pair of Sauconys and a pair of Ultras. So I want to talk specifically about 3 things that are related to trail runners, and that's going to be your shoe stack, the drop, and then one of the things that I think is a third important is the toe box. Okay, so let me just explain those 3 things really quickly. So these are my first pair of trail runners that I ever owned. I love these. I wore them on the Foothills Trail. I've worn them on many, 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 many different hikes. And I started with these on the AT, and they just are not the right shoe for me to wear day after day after day after day, putting on long miles. So let me explain what the shoe stack is. So the shoe stack is the amount of material that you have on a shoe between the bottom of your foot and the ground. So that's very easy, and you will see there's certain different, you have different amounts of material depending on the back, the middle, or the front of your foot, okay? The second thing that we're gonna talk about is the drop. And the drop, as you can see, is the distance from, and I got some notes just to make sure I get this right, the difference in the height between the heel, back here, okay, and your forefoot. All right, and that's measured in millimeters. And then the third thing is, and this is my thing, is the toe box. And that is how much room that you have up here in your toe box to be able to spread and move your toes around at any given time when you have your shoes on, okay? So my first pair of Hokas that I wore on trail, and these are the Hoka Challenger ATR 6s. They have a stack of 29 and 24, which you can see it's higher back here and lower back here, with a drop of 5 millimeters, okay? These are the Hoka Stinsons. These are the ones that I picked up in Franklin when I got off trail and was having foot problems, and I went in and I put these on and they felt wonderful. And why did they feel wonderful? Because look at the stack on this. There is so much cushion and padding in here. I don't care what's going on with your feet. This is like walking on pillows. However, it didn't bode me so well 5 miles into a 6-mile hike. My pain was coming back. Now these have a stack height of 37 and 32 and still has the same 5 millimeter drop, okay? And you'll see on both of these Hokas that I had, the toe box is smaller on my first one. It is bigger on the Stinson, which is another reason why it probably felt so good when I put my feet in it that day, okay? My third pair, the third and fourth pair are what I'm taking back on trail. And yes, I'm taking 2. And I'll explain why. Because, you know, taking a walk in your neighborhood or on your local day hike is a big difference from wearing the same shoes every day for 8, 10 plus miles up and down mountains with a 25-pound pack on your back. And both of these shoes are very, very different. Okay, so first ones that I'm going to take with me are the Saucony Excursions. Now these have a 31 and a 23 stack, but the drop is 8 millimeter instead of 5 like in the Hokas. Now what I have learned from all the watching of videos and personal stories and reading of information is that the majority of us are heel strikers, meaning when we walk, we hit the ground with our heel first and then our forefront. That's just how we do, okay? When you are wearing a lower drop, such as this one or this one, which is 5 millimeter, you're continuing to heel strike. You basically, if you're a heel striker when you walk, you want a higher shoe drop, which then kind of makes you land on your forefront as opposed to on your heel. So that being said, if you're forefront, you want a lower drop, which is going to be more of these, but it seems like more people are in the 4 to 5 millimeter. So are they truly, you know, striking with their forefront, or are they heel strikers and just not going on like long enough trips that is making a difference with that? So the fact that I am originally a heel striker, it's what I habitually walk like. I am very comfortable in these Sauconys. I can spread my toes in them. I have plenty of room in here, and it's an 8 millimeter. I feel like even if I heel strike, this is gonna kind of keep me geared toward striking with the forefront of my foot and get me away from that heel striking, which was where a lot of my pain was in the heels. So the fourth shoe that I'm going to be taking is the Ultra Lone Peak 6. Now this has a stack in the middle of 25 and is a 0 drop shoe. Now what a 0 drop shoe is, it is what it is. However you land on the ground, this shoe's not going to correct this. So it is important that you learn how to walk properly, as funny as that sounds, and not, if you're heel striking and you're always hitting on the heels, you are going to have pain at sometimes. You need to learn to walk more on the forefront and have a nice flow when you hit that ground and not be just bashing your feet. You're going to also have less, you're going to feel more. You're going to feel more of the rocks. You're going to feel more of the roots with these shoes, which is a big reason why I'm not 100% sure that I'll be okay with the 0 drops. I've been wearing these. I've been wearing these with my pack on. I don't have any pain when I wear these. I have plenty of room to spread my toes, which is an important part of my rehabilitation and maintaining foot strength. This will allow my feet to continue to build strength and be strong feet, as opposed to having other shoes that are forcing my feet to do things that they might not naturally be. However, it is really important for me to make sure that I'm not damaging my feet because I'm still in the recovery process. So I don't know how I'm going to do on the extremely rocky areas with the ultras yet until I get out there and I get back on trail. So I have chosen to carry both the Sauconys because the drop is correct for the way that I currently strike, and the Ultra Lone Peaks, and take both of those and carry the extra pound. It's only about 1 pound 3 ounces for me to have a whole extra pair of shoes in my pack until I've been out there for a few weeks and I could truly make the decision of what is going to be the right shoe for me, and then I will send the other ones home. So my final thoughts is that I love Hoka's. I'm going to tell you, I absolutely love Hoka's, but I'm not sure that they're any longer the right shoe for me. As soon as I put the shoes on, either one, whether it's the Challenger or the Stinson, and I take 10 or 20 steps just in my house, I feel like it's digging into my arch, like it's putting a lot of pressure on my arch, and I immediately have arch pain. And it's so strange because I didn't have that before wearing those. So clearly I feel like I've done some rehabilitation of my feet, and now when I try to put them back on, it's trying to do something to my foot that's not natural for my foot. That's all I can assume out of that. All I know is that when I put the Hoka's on, they cause pain on my feet in the current situation, so I'm not going to take those on trail. And the Sauconys are going to give me an 8mm drop, which is going to continue to help me learn to strike with the front of my foot instead of the forefront of my foot and my midfoot, as opposed to heel striking. And then my ultimate goal is to be in 0 drop shoes every day of my life, whether I am hiking a trail or not. And I just say that because the amount of strength that I have accumulated in my feet over the last 8 weeks is like phenomenal. I go barefoot all of the time to continue to build up that strength. And I feel as you get older, that's really important. And when we're shoving our feet into shoes that are not right for us, or constantly arch supports and things that are forcing our feet into positions that they maybe shouldn't naturally be in, I think sometimes causes more damage than good. And you just have to listen to your body and figure out what's right for you. That's what I feel is right for me. So that's what I'm going to do. So I will do follow-ups and let you know. Obviously, if you continue to follow me when I get out on trail, you're going to know. You're going to know what I'm loving, what I'm not loving, vice versa, what's going to stay with me and what's going to go home. So let's just summarize really quick. Shoe stack. The amount of material that is between your foot and the ground. The drop is that angle that's measured from your height to the forefront. And then, of course, one of the most important things is, your toe box. You need to have, especially on a through hike or a section hike, you need to have room for swelling. You need to have room. You don't want your shoes or the front tops of your feet to be crammed in a shoe. You should be able to wiggle and move them around for comfort and safety. So I would love to hear your comments below. I would love to know what everybody has found out. And I am not promoting Hoka's, Sauconys, Ultras. I've seen people have great experiences and not so great experiences with all kinds of shoes. And so I would love to know in the comments below, what information have you found? What research have you found? And what shoes found that worked for you? Because the Saucony and the Ultras are what I'm choosing to hopefully resolve future plantar fasciitis issues. So I'd be interested to hear what's been working for you. I'm going to make a video on what I've done to rehabilitate for plantar fasciitis. And it's just a myriad of a bunch of different resources that I put together that worked for me. And I will link that video below, along with some of the other videos and blogs that I kind of pulled all of this information together to understand how shoe stack and drop and the toe boxes and how they impact our feet and make for healthy feet. So let me know below in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed, I'm going to be going back out on trail. So I would love it if you would follow my journey.